So should I buy this game physically and wait a day to get it, or buy a digital copy and start playing right now?
5 minutes later.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, 99% of my collection is digital. In fact, I own just 12 games physically, and it all comes down to one simple reason. I have a shopping addiction and no self-control. Well, apart of that, there's also a different reason. Convenience. It's just so quick and easy to go to the PlayStation Store, buy a bunch of games and have an immediate access to them, especially now when the internet speeds, on average, are fast enough, so for most people it's actually quicker to buy a digital game and download it rather than to drive to the nearest store, look for parking, wait in line and, God forbid, actually having to interact with people. Having a digital library makes it ever so accessible. You never have to worry about your disc getting scratched or lost in some unfortunate accident. This is fine. Another great thing about going digital is you can save money by buying a digital-only console, although to be fair I wouldn't actually recommend it because you never know. That being said, if you already decided to go full-on digital, you can save yourself $50 and pick up another game with the money you saved. Speaking of, there are sales pretty much all the time on the PlayStation Store. You might be able to find disc copies cheaper, but in the end of the day I don't think that the difference is very substantial, at least from my experience, and as someone who will never resell my games anyway, I don't think that the price argument really applies here. Last but not least, space is needed for a physical games collection. I like things I can hold in hand and display, but unfortunately I don't have a big apartment and I really don't want to have to buy another shelf or even cabinet and clutter it even further. Seriously, do you know how much physical space you need to store nearly 400 games? Okay, apparently not that much space, but still. On the other hand, if you own your games digitally, you can manage them from one place, use search option and have access to your games in moment's notice, just like Steam for PC gamers. Speaking of Steam, can we all agree that physical games on PC are actually dead now? But it doesn't mean that the same should happen in the console space. Like I already told you, I like things I can actually hold, so I do find looking and going over a physical games collection a lot more appealing. This is actually the reason behind my small controller collection, which is most definitely getting used daily and not gathering dust, while I'll only use one of those controllers all the time. The second reason for sticking with physical is actually a lot more practical and important in my opinion. When you have a game disc, you actually own the game, but when you bought a digital copy, you merely have a right to access it, and although it seems close enough, there is actually a huge difference between those two. That basically means that if you happen to lose your PlayStation account somehow, or Sony decided to pull a game or download in support for a specific platform, it's pretty much over. Just recently we had a big scare with PS3 and PS Vita store closure, and although people would still be able to download their games, even that is not eternal. The day will come when you no longer be able to access your PS3, PS4 or even PS5 games. It might take 20-30 years, but it will happen eventually. Physical games are more subjected to wear and tear, but if you take good care of them and still have your PS3 and game disc in 30 years from now, you will be able to play them, and I can't say the same thing about my digital collection. Because of all that, I actually decided to start buying more physical games over digital moving forward, but I guess we'll see how this will pan out. What do you prefer, physical or digital? Also, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to me as I make gaming and trophy hunting content at least once a week. Thank you for watching.